Alright, so last night Heroes Forge finally released the guild, I guess, platform or um, the new setup for guilds, the guild system. That's probably the best way of saying it. So let's do a quick video. Let's take a look at the new features. I created a guild last night to kind of get a better view of sort of how it's set up and some of the rewards we can get. Also, 3 new characters. We'll take a quick look at those and see what they bring to the table. I've not obtained one yet, but I'll have to get some more scrolls and start digging into those as well. So the guild system, it actually shows up as an icon here on the bottom of the screen. And when you come in, so this is coming from the owner of the guild point of view, so it may look slightly different when you join a guild, but when you come in you should see something along these lines. So I named my guild the Fluffy Pink Unicorns because why not? You can change this down the road if you choose to. There's a charge for it, so you can come up with a different name. They do have a few different crests. Looks like you unlock these at various levels. I believe the guild levels are tied to the number of players in your guild, so guild level 2 is after 10 players, and then 20 would be guild level 3, etc. I believe that's how it works, but it may be different. But from what I remember, that's how it was working. And then you have a couple banners. They've got a few of them here. So I'm not saying that we need a unicorn banner here, 10%, but I'm saying we need a unicorn banner, and it needs to be pink. Just saying. So we'll see if they get that in there at some point. So that's some of the kind of high level things. This was kind of a tricky thing. So if you set up a guild, something to be aware of, the new members applying to guild will show up under here, and it's kind of not obvious. I don't have any requests there. Sometimes you just don't notice that there's people waiting, so it's something you have to kind of keep an eye on as you're playing. And then on the screen you can also contribute. This is, I'm assuming, to your overall level as a guild. Again, this is all so new, I'm not really sure how this works or what reward you gain. I don't know if it filters into the power level or not. And it looks like we do have a default credo here we can set up. I'll have to come up with something clever about unicorns later on. And then on the bottom here we've got various like tasks to complete as a guild. So you can see perform 700 enchants, that's on your gear. Summon 350 heroes, win this many arenas, and then clear this many dungeons. So there's also a guild raid. We'll take a look at that in a minute, but I don't know what happens once these are complete. I don't know if you get points that kind of fill in this bar as you go along, or something else is going to happen there. You can see we're 9 of 10 right now, so once we pick up another player, I believe we'll jump up to that next level as well. Here you can kind of see the members. I'm on the North American server, so if you're looking for a guild, please go ahead and apply. We're looking for more people, obviously, to kind of get going. And then I'm not sure if the contribution points are working properly or not. I know that like Brittany and Drank and Crazy and Knazi, yep, we're working on things. So I don't know why this is showing 20. This is kind of weird to me. So I know this just rolled out. They're kind of keeping an eye on it. They are responding quickly. Like earlier today, I was showing rank 1 and rank 2 here. It's kind of a weird glitchy thing, and they fixed it right away. So that's sort of your member list. Rankings are going to be your guild rankings. So as you can see on the North American server right now, there are 3 different guilds set up. And that's really all this does. You can see the number of people in it. So you can see this guild has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This one has just 1, so he must have created his own. Cost 100,000 coins to create your guild, so keep that in mind if you want to get going. That's what it's going to take. As you can see, that's sort of our list of our guild. Then you have traits. So these are where you can actually take the points you get through various guild activities. You'll get these coins. Let's see what they call them here. Actually, you can't click on that and see it. Anyways, these are guild tokens, I believe they called them, and then you can contribute these to various things that will power up your team. So for this luck one, you can see at level 1 you get a 2.5% drop rate. You get a 5, 7, 10, 12.5. So that's pretty cool. And these are all contributions. You can see on the bottom here who's contributed where. I'm not sure what this research is. I don't know if that means after you get all of the points up to here, you have to research it to actually get the thing. But that's something we'll discover as we go along. So you can contribute more points there. Let's go back here. So they have luck right now. They have wisdom, which is going to be XP gain. So those are both super useful, right? If you want to level up characters, you want to get better gear. Those are both great things to have. Again, you can see who's put what where. And this goes back to where I was saying, it looks like they've been contributing, and they'd have to be doing quests and stuff to do that. So I don't know how that ties back to this contribution thing, unless this is purely... This may be a head start they mentioned giving to the guild leader. So if you're the guild leader, you get kind of a head start because there's kind of a level system based on participation. So maybe that's how that kind of gave me a bit of a head start. So maybe that is correct. Anyways, so that's traits. And looks like we've got some other ones. Aegis. Aegis? Probably saying that wrong. Physical damage received, so that's a reduction for physical damage. We've got magic protection. I'm assuming that's, yep, reduction of mystical. Might, so this is probably going to be a buff. Yep, so a buff of physical damage for your characters there. Empower, a buff for damage for casters. Resistance to, so I don't remember seeing a lot of resistance type things. So this may be the first thing with resistance type mechanics. But obviously this is going to tie to sleep, fear, and silence. So those are nice little things to prevent that. We've got fortitude, which I'm assuming is going to be physical control. Interesting. Okay, so again, resistance to various kinds of stuns, things like that. Vitality, minus 25% critical. So if you're fighting somebody with a lot of crits, you can fight that off. And initiative. I think this is going to be a big one, right? Speed wins a lot of times, so this will be the one guilds are probably trying to get to. So those are sort of a high level of the traits for the guilds. Every day there will be, looks like, guild quests, so you can see we've completed 2 of these. So far they seem okay. Looks like we'll complete this one fairly soon. The guild raid is the next tab, I'll show you that. I don't know if we're going to get to that in our first try. And then we have summons. So again, these look fairly doable. There's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So some games have like 12, 13 of these. This looks a little bit more manageable. I think the game right now has a good mix of how much time you need to put in every day versus your reward. So like the new Disney game, I've been playing that. It seems like that takes a lot of time to kind of go back and forth and complete these various quests throughout the day, especially if you want to maximize kind of your energy and stuff. So I like that Heroes Forge has sort of got a good balance. I think they are a little bit more lenient in how much time you need to actually be in the game at any given time. So those are your daily quests, and those all reward these. Here we go, guild tokens. Those are what those are called. So this is sort of the weird. So these are all sort of things. We'll talk about the guild tokens here in a minute once we get to the store. And then we've got our guild raids. So again, these are all based on guild level. Right now we're in the first tier. So as you can see, we're about a little bit more than halfway through. I think the majority of people, yeah, it looks like almost everybody's done something. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 2 people haven't done damage. I'm guessing we won't clear this first time around. I'm sure they'll be tweaking this and watching this as we go forward to see how that's doing. Again, you've got your various resists and other mechanics you need to watch out for. And we'll talk about that with another thing I'm going to show here toward the end of the video. So that's your guild raid. I'm sure I'll be tweaking that. And here's a store. So here's kind of the weird, probably the one thing I didn't like about the implementation are these daily currency things. I don't know what to make of this. I'd rather this be, I guess I'd rather guild performance and guild progression be tied to actual work and to what your guild is doing in the game. This feels like you could use this guild currency and then you can kind of go back here and just feed your guild, which, okay, that's fine. I'd rather it be a longer route. I'd rather you buy things to help your characters and get better gear, and those things go into helping progress your guild as opposed to just straight progression to your guild. So I mean, this is pay to win. Kinda. I mean, there's always gonna be advantages to being in a situation where you can spend money on a game, right? This feels a little off to me. We'll see. I mean, if people are gonna spend, they're gonna spend. Maybe this just gets them to the end game faster. I don't know. I didn't like that. The other thing I think it's kind of weird is that you actually spend the same gold, or I guess the guild tokens, on their rewards as you would for like buffing up your guild. I think I would like to say it's like to see 2 different currencies for this maybe within the guild system. And this is actually a bug here. You can see I'm going to be frozen on the screen. So I'll probably have to force quit this and come back. So let's do that. Store. So this is kind of weird, right? Like you're going to be earning the same currency for both the rewards in here, and some of these are pretty cool rewards. I mean, you've got your summoning scrolls, your ancient summoning scrolls, some of these core stones. I mean, these are all really good things. That means you're going to have to balance between helping your guild and helping yourself, right? So it may have been kind of cool to have like personal guild tokens and then, I don't know, some other type of reward guild tokens. I know it gets dicey when you start adding a lot of currencies to it, but we'll see how this plays out. It's still early. Again, this feels a little too on the nose for me. I know that you got to make money to help keep the game going forward too, so I'm fine with it. Some guilds are just going to progress faster, and that's okay. We'll see how that plays out. And then we've got logs. So here you can actually see just things that have happened. Who's claimed what, who's joined, what contributions were made. Let's check here and see if there's anybody else. Nope. I saw an alert, so that was kind of weird. Looks like on here, okay, it's gone now. So before there was an alert on here, I don't know what happened. Um, And it looks like we're about to finish up dungeons. All right, so that's the new guild system. It is brand new, came out yesterday. So we'll be kind of learning as we go of what that looks like. It looks like you kind of leverage still all the same parts of the game as before, but you've got some guild specific events that you can kind of also jump in and play. So if you're looking for a guild on the North American server, Fluffy Pink Unicorns, we'll keep trying to get those characters added, and we'll kind of keep trying to progress through the content and see what we can find. And so with that, we also had 3 new characters. Let's take a quick look at those, and I'll make a more in length video later, maybe digging into them. But they were all epic levels, so we'll go into our library here. They have a filter here now. They've also changed the hero portraits, which are pretty cool. They were all epic level, so we've got now the Defender of Faith. So she's got a big giant hammer to bash you in the head with. Looks like she's a light character with some physical and melee. And her skills kind of seem to synergize with the other characters in this vein. Um, so we've got time to apply a celestial shield. This is a Mass Effect, so this will pair nicely with the Guardian. What is her name? Angel, because then now you've got actually 2 things creating bubbles, and maybe some other characters will be able to synergize with this a little bit better. We have a chance for stun, and then we have an attack up, and so these are going to scale up as you put more points into them. I believe. Oh no, these are actually just base because they're characters. No, so these will be what they are. 100% to apply Celestial Shield for 1 turn, for 1 extra turn. So Celestial Shield target does not receive damage from direct shields. Um, so this is pretty cool. So this is going to be another advantage. It's frustrating when you're trying to take down a team and they've got these bubbles on them. They can't get around it. And it's a Mass Effect, so your whole team's going to get those bubbles, which is pretty powerful. Mix that with that other Guardian, it's pretty good. Attack up, 50% half power, or attack power, yeah, it's pretty good. It's also a Mass Effect, so all your team gets that advantage. I mean, it looks like a super strong character. It looks like it'll be good. We've got a 30% chance to stun. That mixes well with the new other hero. What was his name? The Paragon. He has some stuns on his as well. Let's see, and some other new characters we've got. We've got the Gunslinger. So this definitely looks like a crit-based character. She's definitely 100% crit rate. I'm sorry, this first one. So attack 2 times with 56 power, 100% crit rate. So that's going to be interesting, right? To see how crit. Now the attack power isn't super high, but um, we'll have to see if you can get some gear and get some of the various buffs tied to this character. It might be pretty interesting. 100% crit rate, 100% crit power. So now we're doubling both, and that's a lot more crit power. So that's got a 3-turn cooldown. So that's going to be strong, but you're going to have to wait to use it. Attack 3 to 6 random targets with 112, minus 50% crit rate. So that's interesting. So you'll get the shots, but it's going to be less powerful. And then we've got extra turn, 30% chance. So this is just a passive, so it'll be interesting to see how much that procs, and if that's going to be enough to kind of make these really kind of fly. And then you get a base level 30% crit rate. So definitely 100% crit rate based character. It'll be interesting to see how she synergizes with character or the Guardians, like where is she here? Spectre, not Spectre, not you, with Lilim. So she's got, like I showed in a previous video, and I'll put a little link above here talking about sort of a crit rate build with her. So here, you can, more crit rate, crit power. So this is just going to stack and stack and stack. So this seems like a really nice character, this Gunslinger with Lilim, to kind of tie the 2 together. Let's go back to our library here. And the final character, so as a note, they replaced it was like a mechanical guy. I can't remember his name now, but anyways, he replaced one of the existing characters. He's got a much cooler model, got the little glowy tentacle sticking out the top of his head. And so he's kind of definitely tank based, lots of health. I believe his powers are similar, but he added this pain link thing, which is a new kind of buff. So this is a Mass Effect, so damage received by the target is transferred to the caster. So this means if this is cast on, say, your whole team, and they hit one of your other team members, that damage is going to go to this guy. So that's kind of cool. And with the health, he might be pretty beefy and tough to take down. He's got a passive 3% health. I've not had time to play with him yet, but he should be interesting. And I mean, he definitely looks like a tank, right? Like this big beefy guy, like the mouth, like this is a much better model. Look at the little laugh animation. See if I can get him to do it again. There he goes. Yeah, so pretty good. Um, let's take a look at her animation and see if she does anything cool. There you go. A little shot at you. And let's see what the defenders looks like. There we go. All right, and then the final character they added was the Shadow Priest. Let's take a look at her. So Shadow Bolt, attack with 74 power, 100% chance to apply bleed. So bleed's kind of like poison. It's a 10% remove HP every time. I've always felt that's a little weak. I'd like to see that be closer to 15, 20%. It just feels like if you're going to have a damage over time effect, they need to do enough to you to make you feel it. And I've never really felt like characters that apply these to me do much. Either I'll heal out of it, or I don't know, I'll get health off of attacks, or something else will happen that just negates this. So it seems kind of pointless. Darkness Within, Darkness Affinity heroes only, so you gotta be careful. These will only work with darkness. 100% chance to add vampiric ability for 1 turn. This is a mass effect, okay? And so any damage is returned as HP. So all your characters basically are gonna get a 15% return on any damage they do. So that's kind of cool. And if you paired this up with the vampiric set, you could have a pretty nasty team who's just kind of doing lots of damage and healing themselves up constantly. Could be fairly annoying. We'll have to see how it plays out. See what his animation is. That's cool animation. Shadow Embrace, Darkness Affinity again, 100% chance to convert damage for 1 turn. So converts all incoming direct damage to HP. So that's interesting. So you're actually getting a huge buff by whatever damage they apply to you. So if the character who you're playing against doesn't pay attention, that could be super nice. How cool would this be with a raid boss, right, where they just destroy you and then this had this on and I'm sure it doesn't work that way, but you know, we can dream, right? So that's also a new buff added to the game. And then the last two, 50% HP received from vampiric and damage conversion, so just a buff to HP you're recovering, it's a passive, and 30% chance to convert incoming damage to HP. So this guy has a potential, like if he procs a bunch, to get really, really high in HP, be really difficult to kill. He's spinning out kind of this effect across your team, so he seems like he'll be really good with the darkness kind of teams, and he'll fit in really well. It looks like they're kind of trying to build out these characters to kind of make more base teams on darkness side. I think the lights had kind of a lot of love lately, so they're finally kind of coming around to that. So there it is. That is the new additions to the game. There are some other tweaks, like I said, the hero portraits. When you look at them, they're a little bit different. Like in various parts of the game, they'll look this. They'll show you their alignment. I don't remember seeing too much else to the UI itself. There were some mentions of tweaks to certain characters. I only saw one, so I'm not going to really talk about it yet. But here in the market, you can actually see this. They use the full portrait. This is much better. It looks a lot nicer, very slick. But other than that, that's it. So if you're been waiting for the guild system, it's finally here. Feel free to jump in and take a look. Like I said, we are the Fluffy Pink Unicorns on the NA server. We could definitely use some players, get up through these different ranks and see what's going to be next. But until then, we'll keep checking it out. I do plan on making a video soon. I made a nice little tool that kind of illustrates all the characters, has a list of all the characters, and you can filter and sort and help yourself with various raids. I'll do a video on that next, but that will be coming soon. We'll take a look at those 3 new characters and where they fit into the game, and that'll be it. So thanks for watching. Please give me a like and a subscribe down below if you like Heroes Forge and you've been looking for more content. I do like the game. I am enjoying making content for it. I do want to stick around and continue to make some. If you have any suggestions, again, appreciate you watching, and we'll see you in the next video.